you're operating black and white and like a robot, AI will replace you.
We have with us Sara Boueri. Sara's professional journey is a testament to her unwavering dedication to understanding the intricacies of human experience within the domain of employment. With a background in psychology, she ventured into the world of human resources, where she has spent more than 2 decades honing her expertise as well as helping individuals and organizations to take up the best practices benefiting employees and organizations alike. She possesses a unique ability to delve into the psychological aspects of human behavior in the workplace, aligning individual aspirations with organizational goals. Sara's career is marked by her commitment to creating the right fit between employees and their roles, fostering a harmonious and a productive work environment. Her accolades includes being recognized as one of the top 50 HR leaders in the Middle East and earning the prestigious title of CHRO of the Year at the HR Tech Summit. Actually underscores her remarkable contributions to the field of human resources, and yet she's so humble and ever smiling. Do you manifest?
I have an amazing partner. I've manifested him.
What are the 3 things you will advise our viewers who are trying to change their field of career? Hi everyone, welcome to Self-Discovery Podcast, where we talk about topics concerning mindfulness, spirituality, overcoming fear and failures, creating the right mindset in people, speaking to leaders in varied fields about their success as well as their failure stories, which usually people don't talk about. So we have with us an esteemed professional with an expertise that goes beyond borders. Her name is Sara Boueri. In this episode, we have the privilege of delving into Sara's wealth of knowledge and experience, exploring the dynamic intersection of psychology, human resources, and the ever-evolving landscape of the future of work. Welcome, Sara. How are you today?
Thank you so much. Mohsinaa, I'm going to take you to all my interviews. And in all my interviews, I want you to introduce me just the way you have. You've made me sound so awesome, more than I deserve for sure.
No, absolutely. This is your humbleness that is speaking. You deserve much more. Okay, you have the things that you have done. I'm really amazed at it. And I love that usually what happens, I'll just tell you, when you deal with human beings, and mostly people I have seen that, they can be in any sector when they're dealing with human beings, the kind of joy that I see on your face, okay, I see it drained, they're drained because they're interacting with so many energies, they're absolutely drained. But the kind of energy and the smile, the aura that I see in you, it is amazing because you are dealing with human beings and yet you're so refreshed as if you just love every bit of it. Okay, it comes out as a passion. Okay, so I really love it. Could you tell me one thing? Why did you choose HR, that is human resources, after studying psychology as a discipline?
That's an amazing question, and not a lot of people ask me that. There's a very clear reason why I went into HR after studying psychology. I've always had a passion for people, for getting to know them. I moved around a lot as an individual, and I also have another passion, which is business, family businesses in Africa. And so when I finished my degree in psychology, I had 2 options. I could either become a psychologist and only deal with individuals, or I could combine both of my passions and help people still, but at the same time use my passion for the business and the organization in order to marry both of my passions.
When your passion becomes your business, okay, there is no limits to the growth. There's no boundaries that you see because you create that. You can keep going, moving forward because you're passionate about it. You love this so much, okay? So it shows. Now, can you share an example of a decision which might seem like a risk to others, but it has worked wonderfully in your case? Can you please guide us through it?
So I think the riskiest or boldest move I made was leaving the consultancy world in 2016 and going into the operations of a business. It was extremely risky for me because I ended up joining a huge family business, and most of the people were 10 to 15 years older than me. I was the only female on the leadership team. Prior to taking that role, I had a lot of people say it's too big a jump. I read a quote from Richard Branson: if an opportunity seems too big for you at this point, take it and figure it out, and just figure it out when you get there. And so I was like, I could potentially crash and burn with this thing, but now is the time to take a risk. I don't have any, or I didn't have any dependents at the time. So this was in 2016, and it's been an uphill journey ever since.
Wow. You took the leap of faith. You actually went ahead with courage, because it takes a lot of courage. Why I feel most of the people from a mid-level, they are never able to break through to the top of the organization. It is only because they're intimidated. They feel that they are not good enough, okay? Or, somebody else who's out there, they create that idealistic kind of a mindset for that person rather than for themselves, and they're not able to cross over. Amazing, because this is a story of courage that you just said. So did you feel that in this journey of yours, there's some level of intuition that has helped you, or you have followed what your gut feeling has said, even though others around you have said completely a different story about it? So do you think it works?
Yes, I 100%. I try and follow my gut whenever possible. Sometimes I'm wrong, but this is the journey of life. It's not so much about failing or making mistakes, but it's about what do you do when you have failed or when you have made a mistake. And I let my gut or my intuition guide me for at least, I would say, maybe 70%.
Sarah, I want to ask you here, what are the 3 things you will advise our viewers who are trying to change their field of career, as in they're stagnant right now, they have achieved some bit of it, and they are saying that, listen, I'm going to leave it. Say a doctor saying that it's enough. I've studied so much, I've done so much, but my passion is this and I want to follow it. What kind of advice would you give them?
What I can tell you is what's worked for me, and you can take whatever you want from it, but we're all on a different journey. We're all on a different path. I've always adopted a growth mindset. I'm not a fan of the status quo. I'm not a fan of doing things the same way. I always believe that things can get better, can be better. If you look hard enough, or if you're creative enough, there's always a solution. There's something to be learned every single day, and you just need to be open to this learning that you have. So number 1 is a growth mindset. Number 2 is I'm passionately curious. I love to understand how things work. I love to understand the reasons behind certain dynamics or certain decisions. So I try and educate myself as much as possible through asking people questions, through understanding. I'm not afraid to look like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not afraid of asking. And then the third thing is be creative. There's no point doing something the same way everyone does it. There has to be a twist, and there's always a twist. And so these 3 things where I like to grow, I like to be curious, and I like to do things differently. And these 3 guiding principles are kind of like my northern star.
I believe the adaptability really helps. Yes, if you can adapt, you are just open to changes. It doesn't matter, from what discipline you have come from. Just be open. The world has a lot of opportunities for everyone. I feel, though we are 8 billion plus, okay, but we are still in that we can create our own story through, in inner introspection. When we go ahead with that inner introspection, we get a lot of knowledge then from the outside world. Okay, so another thing, that what are the wellness practices or rituals do you incorporate, not just in your daily life, but the organizations that you go in and you see employees, because there's stress, employment is a stressful job in any form can it be. So how do you create? I see yourself as really like energetic, okay, happy. How do you create similar levels of energy in employees And what is the ritual or rituals that you would, tell people to follow?
For me, wellness equates very much to belonging and to inclusion and to feel appreciated. We are all stressed. We all have things going on in our lives. We're all fighting some sort of fight in our lives. We're all going through something. What I feel has really helped in the HR department is we do this thing called we hold space for employees, which means we listen to them not necessarily to solve their problems, not necessarily to offer them advice, but we listen, we care. And this is irrespective of whatever company I've been in. These are the acts that I choose to do in order to really promote a wellness culture in whatever organization I'm in.
This is so heartwarming. I'll tell you how it is. Everybody is going through something or the other in their lives, okay? Listening to what they're going through, listening that how their family is, that itself is healing for the other person, I feel. And people don't have that time. They don't give that time. And even close ones today, they don't give that time to each other, They're more into their own lives. So this is so amazing. And I again want to ask you here, how do you maintain your balance after listening to all that?
I get my energy from seeing people happy, from making a difference. I genuinely believe in the power of paying it forward. So I can hear an employee's worst story ever and I can genuinely feel with them. And then towards the end of it, if I've managed to alleviate this person's pain or stress or worry, even just 1%, I take that as a win. This is something that I really would recommend that anyone try is you're going through a hard time. The best way to de-stress, the best way to feel better, the best way to feel energy and energized is to help someone else. So this is my meditation and this is my wellness platform or a thing for me.
Like when money comes in, it is amazing. It's a good energy, okay? But when this kind of heartfelt gratitude comes in, okay, that brings up the level of, I feel, all your happy hormones. Okay, you feel accomplished more than being, receiving that. Like you go ahead and you get a promotion. Okay, it lasts for a day or 1 month because you still have to continue doing your work. Okay, you don't get promotions every day, but these spoken words of gratitudes, okay, when people come and genuinely tell you that thank you so much, it means so much. As in, for me it's a reflection. I keep on going through it over and over. This girl came in and she said thank you for the sessions that I did for her, or this guy who's so accomplished and still so humble and kept telling me that thank you for what I could add value to that life. This is absolutely, I can sleep in peace.
Yes.
It's
amazing.
Yes.
It's everything.
Yes, true. So going forward, I want you to tell me, do you see stress in your employees? And do you see, what kind of practices do you tell the organization or do you create for them to de-stress or, to calm down the level of anxiety? Are there programs that you hold across your organization where you say that, listen, these are the programs, go ahead, by identifying people's life, what they're going through right now, and anxiety, stress, okay, questioning their self-worth. So do you go ahead and bring up these kind of programs in your organizations?
We do. Best cure for stress is companionship, and to have a friend and to have people who you feel included with and like you belong to. We make it a culture. As long as you're in the company, we build the relationships, we build the friendships, we build the rapport between employees. We're all stressed. To a certain extent, we're stressed about money or family or friendships or relationships or your kids, everything. We have someone to share our stress with. Not your HR person, but a friend, especially at work. This is the best way to kind of de-stress. However, it could also have a negative effect. So I've also seen that sometimes when someone is stressed about something at work and they have a friend to confide in, that could exacerbate the stress because then both of them are complaining about the same thing. So then the other de-stress method that I try and use is I try and solve their issues either by fixing the problem or by explaining why we cannot fix the problem. If you can do it, do it. If you cannot do it, explain why you cannot do it. Don't try and pivot around it and say, oh, it's with X manager. No, explain to them the real reason. People like to be told the truth.
Rather than going in circles, tell them what the situation is. They have, the mind somehow creates a story and makes it okay. Have you designed your life? Do you manifest? Or do you go ahead and just follow the default of life?
Or I try to have zero expectations when it comes to my life. I love change and I love the unknown. So I like to not know what's coming next. Have I manifested certain things? I have an amazing partner. I've manifested him. I have an amazing family. And obviously the power of positive thoughts is incredible. But to really make things happen around you, you have to go and do something and get it. I will be a millionaire. You can believe it.
Manifesting, it's a process. You think of something that you really want, you work on it. It's not that you sit in a chair and you just daydream about it, that someday some opportunity will knock and tell you that, listen, this is on a platter, will provide you. No. So now we come to a question which is about leadership. And I see a lot of leadership qualities in you. What measures are necessary for effective leadership development and management in an organization or in life itself?
The beauty of COVID, it empowered employees and it showed employees that you're more powerful than the job and your life is beyond whatever job that you have. People all over the world lost jobs and or left jobs and they were fine. They found something else. COVID took away this fear of being unemployed because we were faced with it and it suddenly empowered employees to have a voice. And with this voice comes a lot of power. And employees should use this power in order to help leaders develop. Because prior to COVID, I mean, there was quite a lot of talk about the soft skills that leaders need in order to be better leaders. But post-COVID, it didn't become a talk anymore. It became necessity. Leaders had to be better. They had to behave better. Otherwise, people would leave. And when people leave, it's a big hit in the business. So I would say before a leader becomes a leader, or when a leader is in a leadership position, it's not the performance or the metrics. That's not the leader's role. The leader's role is to harness the power of the team and to make sure that there are no obstacles in the team's way and to remove these obstacles. Too often you find leaders that are doing the operational job, which is great if hands are needed, if they need help. But when a leader is failing to delegate because they're wanting to do everything on their own, and all they're doing is or they're doing the work instead of helping the obstacles or push the obstacles out of the way, it's not great it's not efficient. Firstly, like, why do you have this big team if you're going to do all of the operations? So I would say leaders need to work on, or really need to understand, that their role is very simple. Move the path and get rid of all the obstacles in your team's path. In order to do that, you need to understand what those obstacles are. It could be issues with other departments, issues with leadership, issues with you as a leader, issues within the team, so inter-team dynamics. It could be budget issues. It could be infrastructure issues. Maybe we don't have the right IT things. The main metric a leader needs to follow is my team's life easier or not easier with my involvement? And so it's make your team's life easier.
Create the environment. That is what you are saying. Create the environment and people will prosper. The employees will prosper and bring in the prosperity and the profitability in the company. So basically create the environment and also don't micromanage. Another question, which is very, very in these days, with AI taking over a lot of processes and making our life easier, okay, in some way, do you think employees should be scared of AI?
If you're operating black and white and like a robot, AI will replace you because the robot will be more efficient. However, if you're operating with empathy and you're using problem solving and creativity and logic and applying gray to this situation and understanding the context and listening, this is something AI will never replace. AI will only replace busy work. And if all you're doing is busy work, you will be replaced and very soon.
I'll tell you the most impacted jobs here when AI coming in is customer service. You know, when you call them up and they tell you the same answer for everything that you ask them, you feel that, listen, it's better we are talking to a robot. Expectations are high from a human rather than a robot. You know that, okay, he has been fed and this one can operate through the mindset, okay, and find me a solution. Absolutely. So Sara, we have come to segment 4. This is all about rapid fire, fun, light, breezy. So let's go ahead. One all-time interview question that people dread to answer.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Meditation, yoga, or pep talks for the employee welfare program. Which one will you choose?
Pep talks.
Your go-to ritual for inner peace and balance.
Helping others.
Superpower that you want to have in your life at present.
The power to speak every single language on earth.
How many do you know?
I can communicate in 4.5 languages. I say half because I speak Hindi/Urdu.
Oh,
आपकी
okay.
सेवा होगी. So wait, hold on. आपकी मेहनत का बहुत शुक्रिया.
Oh my God, you know, I think you are amazing at it. It's not half anymore, it has crossed that. Money or fame, which one would you choose?
Money.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Well, both. I wake up early. However, when I'm working, I'm a night person because I can only start my work after employees leave, because otherwise they're always in my office and they're coming in. So I usually work after hours at work.
So coffee or tea, which is your go-to energy drink?
Chai chahiye.
Oh, very good. You know, I hardly hear this in people. So basically, people who work in corporate are always a coffee person.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee. I drink karak chai. So chai con chini or doodh.
So hard work, skill set, or hustling? Which one?
I would pick hustle. And the reason hustle and not hard work or skill set is hustle is less robotic. Hustle means you're able to communicate, you're charismatic, you're charming, you have good influence skills.
Hustle is basically finding yourself again and again, right? That is what you're trying to say, you know, going ahead and reinventing yourself again and again. So would you like an employee in your organization who is really smart in terms of the work, okay, finishes his job in like about 2-3 hours or 4 hours max, and is very casual in his attitude, okay, or a person who's diligent, okay, honest, at the same time is a hard worker, not a very smart worker, does his work in processes and follows only processes without unique problem solving, okay, from morning till the evening, goes ahead and just creates that, you know, just puts in the hours. Which one?
1,000,000% smart work. I would prefer someone who can get the job done in 2 hours and then go on with their life than someone who gets the job done in 10 hours and can barely figure it out.
So, career or love life, if you have to choose one between this?
Love life, for sure. Yeah.
Money or love life?
Love life, for sure.
If you could do a totally different profession today, you know, so what would it be? How will you reinvent yourself?
My dream profession, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a singer, like a performer. But like on a realistic front, if I could reinvent myself, I would love to be the CEO of an organization.
So Netflix and chill or outdoorsy, which one?
Netflix and chill over going out at night, for sure. I prefer to be home at night. It depends on what time. So if it's outdoorsy in terms of activities, then definitely activities over Netflix.
Planned or spontaneous? How do you run your life?
I'd say more spontaneous.
So one last thing I want to ask you here. What is that one mistake that you have done which you think that you have learned from it more that made a lot of sense in your life?
I had to leave Lebanon in 2007. There was a conflict in Lebanon in 2006. So I had 2 or 3 different options, and I chose Australia. I wish I had chose something else. Australia is great. I love it. But I feel like maybe life would have been different had I gone to a different university in maybe the States or somewhere in Europe.
You're right, sometimes, but also I believe in one thing, and I'm sure you do too. There's nothing that I would have achieved this before and this later. So we are here at the most opportune time because this is a divine timing. I have come to that thing, okay, that segment where I'm going to read out your energy. So first of all, Sara, there are no emotional and mental blockages, okay? Though there are psychic attacks from around, but inside you, you're very content, you're very fulfilled. The beliefs that you have actually, that you are capable of achieving your career goals. You're very confident about it, okay? Another belief that gives you wings, I would say, is that you are confident in your abilities and potential. You don't deny it, you don't doubt it, actually. You just go ahead and you practice it. Okay, so this is another amazing belief to have and to achieve, laurels in your life. Now, one more is that you believe that you will be a role model to the future generations to come.
It's true. I hope so. I hope
Yes.
so. If one can manifest
Yes.
that would be great.
You have this belief in you that you will be a role model to the future generations, and this is strongly there inside you, and it is going to come true. Okay, you feel that you're not limited by societal expectations. You will not give in to societal expectations. You will create your own way in life, own journey. Yes,
Love it. How do you know all this?
because I can read your energy. You claim this thing very well, that you are a leader. Okay, so you have this claim that I am a leader. You have this, and you every day, whatever you are doing, you are progressing in that leadership role of yours. Okay, so you've already claimed it, and this is an amazing energy because people don't have this, and most of them remain followers for a long time. So you have claimed this belief in you. There's another belief that you have, that you can turn your dreams into reality, and you are an amazing and a valuable contributor in your workplace. The most important belief that you have is that you believe in yourself no matter what. Okay, so this is something that you didn't have to work on, probably you have just realized it, and you are going through it in your life, and it has helped you in any situation, like the situations that you faced at 27 and now. Okay, no matter what kind of mistakes happen and what kind of revolutions happen, but you are not affected by it because you know that there's a long way to go, and you have claimed that path for yourself. So that's really amazing. Okay, Sara, it was such a lovely podcast. I love the energy in this.
I've been in many podcasts, many interviews, many panel discussions. I've had moderators moderate many sessions. This has been one of the best sessions I've been on. And not because you just showed me all of the nice compliments that you have, but I love the questions. I think the questions are truly well thought of. They're relevant. They're not the standard questions that everyone asks. Where do you see the future of work? Like all of these things. They were really, I can tell that you thought of the story, you thought of the flow, you thought of how it works. And because of this flow that you had, the conversation was just, when I read the questions, I didn't prepare for any of them because I read them and I'm like, this is a conversation. This is an everyday conversation that we can have. And this is something that's so rare. And really, you have a passion for doing what you're doing. And
thank you so much. It has been my honor to actually host you because, I feel that you're so driven, okay, and you're receiving it, but you're not stopping. You're like, okay, listen, this is just nothing, I'll go forward. It is nothing. It is just, you're giving it all to your team. You're giving it to everyone around, okay, but when it comes to you, you're saying that, listen, 30, 40 more years, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so I will follow my path. So that's really amazing. I see that in you. Okay, and I'm really happy to share this positivity with you, because you are exuding positivity. Okay, thank you so much. Shukriya.